The other big managerial news on Saturday, Barcelona suffered a 5-3 home defeat to Villarreal in La Liga. They're now 10 points behind Real Madrid. They've had a terrible last couple of weeks. They got spanked by Real Madrid in the Super Cup final and were eliminated by Athletic Bilbao in the Copa del Rey. So after this Villarreal defeat, Xavi announced that he'll be leaving at the end of the season. It was a pretty extraordinary press conference in which he said, among other things, this has happened to every Barcelona manager after some time. You end up leaving because it's not worth it to continue. I will rest for a bit after the season. My family have been suffering a lot with me in this tenure. I want to be with them. He then went on to say, you asked me many times if I'd be the Sir Alex Ferguson of Barca. The truth is that will never happen here. You guys won't allow it. Being Barca coach is so difficult. You see how they kill you. They criticize you. It affects you. How about that?
This is ridiculous. I mean, this is all right. Where do I even start with this? Just in general, I think we all recognize that Barcelona, while an elite club, while one of the great clubs in the world, while a team with wonderful existing talent, but also potential, we recognize that, and I've never been coach of Barcelona. I know you haven't, and everybody else recognizes. If anybody should understand what Barcelona is as a machine, what Barcelona is as a dysfunctional type of machine, it should be Xavi. So, again, if anybody should have gone in with eyes wide open, it should have been him. And so now to say, hey, this is the situation, you knew going in that this was at times, dysfunctional type of organization. Now, within that dysfunction, in the past, people have had success. Now, have you had the type of iconic and coach, manager, and the longevity of a Sir Alex Ferguson? No, but this day and age, we don't see that. We don't see that a lot. I think this is such a cop-out from Xavi. Okay, and people will say, yeah, he's just telling you what the truth is. He's just telling you what the reality is. We know what the reality is. And if it's so bad, then don't take the frickin' job. All right? Again, you're being paid ridiculous amounts of money relative to 99.99999% of the world out there. You're in a position that pretty much every other coach, not every other coach, but pretty much 99% of the coaches out there would love to be in, despite some of the realities and despite some of the true things that you are saying about this club. So don't sit there and whine. This is a bunch of whining from one of the great players in the game and obviously a Barcelona legend. And this isn't a player standing up and painting the realities to an unsuspecting public out there. There is no heroism in what he is saying right here. So you're not up for the job for whatever number of reasons, then go away and let somebody else come in and do it.
There is something in the water down there because Pep left after 4 seasons, said he couldn't take it anymore, needed a break. Everybody assumed, well, Pep must just be one of these guys that burns out. Well, he's now in his 8th season at Man City and going strong there. Luis Enrique left after 3 seasons, despite having great success, said he couldn't take it anymore. Now, Xavi, this is going to be 2.5 seasons for him. So it is a draining job, even as super club jobs go.
And? So what's the point?
No, you're right. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a draining job, okay? And if you don't want to be put into that mixer, then don't go there.
I will say, though, there is a world in which after Messi left, Barcelona could have told their fans, look, we just gave you the last 15 years, the most incredible 15 years that any fan base could hope for. 10 La Liga titles, 4 Champions League titles, 2 trebles. You got to watch Ronaldinho, Messi, Xavi, Iniesta, Neymar, Suarez. You were coached by Pep. And now we need to take a step back. We need to rebuild for a couple of years. We need to get our finances in order. We're just going to play young players. We're probably not going to win anything, but we hope to come back even stronger out of that. However, this sort of super club era we live in, you're not allowed to do that. So Barcelona, they made some concessions to their financial situation, but they still wanted to project this image of being this big bad team that can go toe-to-toe with Real Madrid and contend for major trophies. And so it's been a weird mix the last couple of years where you look at that lineup and you see a bunch of 16-year-olds, but also Robert Lewandowski. And it's hard to figure out, is this a rebuild or is this not? Or is there pressure to win trophies now? It is an odd dynamic that's been created.
You're not allowed to do it, Mosse, all right, if you proclaim to be Mesdoun Club, right? And you tell people and scream it from the mountains how it's an infrastructure that we have, and it's an ideology we have, and again, it's an ethos and an identity, and this is a philosophy that starts at the young La Masia, and we develop from within, and we do all that. You're not allowed to do that if, when it really comes down to it, and what you are saying to me is it was a golden generation. That just happened. Again, the soccer god smiled upon you in a timing when a group came about that was so good that they lived up to what you've been telling us you are. And now that it's gone, you can't replicate it. But you were telling us that the reason why they existed was because of all the forethought and all the training. And again, all of the people that were there telling you exactly what to do from a young age. The reality is that's not the case then. It's all bullshit. All right, it gets me riled. You like that clip? Well, my State of the Union podcast drops twice a week right here on my very own YouTube page. The only way to stay up to date is to hit that subscribe button down below. Size the day, and see you soon.